Hey y'all, welcome to ScorcherToysAtAnyMoon.com's recap of San Diego Comic-Con 2019. No matter what your passion is, San Diego Comic-Con probably has something for you. I probably spent a half hour just staring at Unicron. So much Unicron. But for this video, we're going to focus on Robotech. Before we hop on in, let's do a little primer on what Robotech is and what it means for shows like San Diego Comic-Con. Most people watching my channel probably know that Robotech is composed of three unrelated Japanese shows from the early 80s. Super Dimension Fortress Macross, Super Dimension Cavalry Southern Cross, and Genesis Climber Mospeada. To bring them over to the US and other markets, Harmony Gold made some tweaks to the storyline, mostly through the dub, which turned three shows into one larger show without adding new animation. Sometimes the tweaks are minor, like renaming the Destroids in Macross. Other times the tweaks were much larger. For example, Southern Cross is the story of a colony on some distant planet that tries to fight off the original inhabitants returning home. This became the Masters chapter of Robotech, which tells the story of a second generation of heroes on a post-apocalyptic Earth doing battle with would-be oppressors. Harmony Gold licensed all three of the original Japanese shows from Tatsunoko. Tatsunoko owns a pretty substantial catalog of anime licenses and has subsequently been purchased by Takara, now Takara Tomy. However, Tatsunoko only had limited rights to Macross, which it gained through helping Big West, the original producers of Macross, finance the show. At the time, no one really expected Macross or Robotech to have sequels or produce toys for more than a couple years, so it really didn't seem like an issue. More than 3 decades later, the ambiguity of the rights has caused a lot of consternation and bad blood among the fans and companies involved. Fortunately, there have been a few lawsuits that clarified the situation, and here's roughly how it shakes out. First, Japanese courts affirmed the original agreement between Tatsunoko and Big West that gave Tatsunoko limited domestic rights, which have long since expired, and indefinite international distribution and merchandising rights. While I'm sure Big West would have liked some sort of cap on Tatsunoko's international rights, the one thing the case made crystal clear is that Tatsunoko had no intellectual property rights. Though I don't really know that they ever disputed that. Second, a California court clarified the terms of Tatsunoko and Harmony Gold's agreement. Now, it's important to remember that Tatsunoko can only license what they have, which means no intellectual property. This also set the internet into a bit of a tizzy because the court clarified that the termination date of the contract would be 2021. That has since been renewed and is a big talking point of the SDCC and Harmony Gold's 2019 circuit. So wow, that was a lot of exposition to get to one of many points at the Robotech panel. Yes, Harmony Gold has the rights and you shouldn't expect them to ever lose them. You would think that Big West would try to purchase the rights back from Tatsunoko, as it would make the rights more valuable to Bandai, their #1 licensee. But the thought is that Big West feels like Tatsunoko has not acted in good faith, so dealing with them would be like paying a premium to purchase your own goods from a thief. For various reasons that are beyond the point of this video, Big West refuses to allow its licensees to do any business with Harmony Gold, so that's why Bandai never shows any Macross goods at San Diego Comic-Con. This conversation about rights brings me to the first of two real issues I have with Harmony Gold panels. They never address the IP rights issue, which is an elephant in the room. Fans want to see Max and Miria and Rick fighting their way back from the other side of the galaxy, but Harmony Gold can't make a sequel to Macross. They can do it in comics and video games because those are merchandise, but that's it. So when we then segue into the discussion of Sony's live-action film, formerly Warner Brothers live-action film, the question of what the film would look like looms large. The film would have to be made in such a way that it wouldn't infringe on Big West's IP at all. That means no SDF-1, no VF-1, no Roy Fokker, no Min-May. Everything from Southern Cross and Mospeada would be fair game, but Harmony Gold through Tatsunoko has no IP for Macross. Fortunately for Harmony Gold, there are a lot of elements of Macross that could easily fall under generic sci-fi tropes. You could make a movie that has humans finding alien technology and fighting an alien force sent to retrieve said technology. You can put transforming mecha in the movie and even name the hero Rick Hunter. But nothing would look at all like it did in the cartoon, and Harmony Gold never dares touch on that. Perhaps they're hopeful that Sony will get Big West to come to the table and license more of the IP, But that seems super unlikely. If you're watching this and hoping to one day see a live-action Macross, stop doing that. Sure, miracles do happen, but the far more likely scenario is some sort of Bayformers mashup that only vaguely recalls the original license and has all new characters and mecha. So this leads to the very bizarre tease at the end of the Robotech panel. They claim that Sony had asked them to put more Robotech out into the market, so look forward to an announcement sometime in the next 18 months. On its face, it sounded like they announced they were hoping to announce something a year and a half from now, which is a bit bewildering. What's more bewildering is that if Sony really wanted Harmony Gold to get more Robotech out there, you would think they would be willing to fund it, if not take the driver's seat entirely. Harmony Gold's track record in the anime industry is awful. The Sentinels failed to launch. Robotech 3000 mercifully failed to launch. The Shadow Chronicles need to be renamed the Shadow Episode. And the Kickstarter campaign proved that Robotech's biggest fans don't think the current regime can put a show together. So the punchline of the Harmony Gold presentation was a curious non-announcement we'll all have to hope is more than a new line of plushies. But that does bring us nicely back to merchandise. There are a few things that I don't really cover but may interest you. There are now at least a couple different Robotech comic series out there, so if you're into comic books, those might be fun. There is plenty of new apparel choices from Super 7 and 80stees.com. Udon Books is currently working on a Southern Cross and Robotech the Masters art book, which is something I'd love to see and will probably be lucky to see sometime in 2020. There are lots of tabletop game options out there and a new tabletop RPG in the works. Icon Heroes is also making some Robotech resin statues with swap-out appendages for different poses, and Kids Logic has their 1/6 scale figures, cockpits, and 1/8 scale VF1 Batloid busts. Now, one thing that's not listed here is either a phone game or a video game. I always see these fun card games and wonder why they don't put these on phones. One thing that a lot of people don't seem to understand is that Harmony Gold can certainly reject a license, but ignoring their one stint when they reissued old Matchbox toys, Harmony Gold doesn't actually make things. I feel like every convention someone asks, when will there be a new video game? And Harmony Gold is not the person you should ask. If you want a Robotech game, you really ought to be petitioning your favorite software maker. Alright, so let's move on to stuff in my wheelhouse, and the best place to start there is Toynami. Toynami had a few items I saw for the first time at San Diego Comic-Con. They're expanding their action figure line that debuted at last year's Comic-Con to include Rick, Lisa, Claudia, and Glowville in uniform with Ben in his flight suit. They also had Ben, Max, Roy, and Miria in uniform with Lisa in a flight suit. They're dragging the VF1 morphers out and hoping to sell them for more than $10 each, which is pure crazy talk. They're also selling more fixed-pose blind box figures, this time from the new gen, also for more than $10 each, and they didn't even bother to give Rand Cyclone unique forearm armor. Ugh. Also on display was the Caliber Wings 172 scale non-transformable VF1 diecast model. There was a beat-up looking Farewell Big Brother exclusive version, but it must have sold out at preview night as it was unavailable when I sauntered up Thursday morning. I'll be looking forward to doing a full review of that when Big Bad Toy Store delivers mine later this year. By the way, if you're shopping for Robotech goods, click the link in the comments below to head on over to Big Bad Toy Store. You will find what you're looking for and help this channel out in the process. Beginning at WonderCon, Toynami debuted a 1/100 scale VF1S Super Gift Set in Takatoku-inspired packaging, and for San Diego Comic-Con, they added a Grenade Box Protection gift set in the same vein. The artist who mimicked the original Takani artworks teased that he had been doing similar Destroid work, but since there were no Destroid prototypes, I wouldn't get overly excited at the prospect just yet. Maybe Toynami is going to bring back the vinyl collection? That's probably something for next year's San Diego Comic-Con wrap-up. It wasn't all about Toynami, though, as a new company has sprung up dedicated to making toys that Toynami passes on. MEP Toys is coming to market very soon with his Breetai action figure. Once I have mine in hand, you can expect a full review. The operation is a one-man show, and he made it clear he's very passionate about the license and hoping to pick up a lot of projects that have been ignored so far, including an Invid Scout figure and a series of The Masters action figures. Kit's concept wasn't at San Diego Comic-Con, but their 172 scale VF1 line was discussed. You can currently pre-order Rick's VF1J. Also discussed were their line of 112 scale action figures. The Rick Hunter figure is due out momentarily, and it looks like Lisa Hayes' figure will be next in line. Keep an eye on anymoon.com for reviews as I get those items in hand. I think that sums up the news from San Diego. Though Sentinel is making Mospeada products, they didn't bother getting a Harmony Gold license, so no news on that front, which is a huge bummer because that VR41 that is currently on pre-order looks fantastic. If you haven't pre-ordered one yet, I highly suggest you click through my link in the comments and head on over to Big Bad Toy Store and lock one down. Hopefully we'll also be hearing more on their Legios offering next week at Summer Wonderfest. If you found anything here useful or amusing, hit that thumbs up button. If you like toys, make sure you subscribe. If you want to know more, hit up anymoon.com. Thanks for watching.